back to this week's episode of Lifting the Lid. Today we're just resuming normal service. There's no Gales.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, very sadly. And oh my God.
Verity has malfunctioned.
I am broken. And today I am back with my co-hosts Lucy and Seran.
Hello.
What's been happening this week?
You've been on your hollybobs.
Oh yeah.
Well, hollybobs, schmollybobs. No, I didn't know why I said that. That was really weird. What? How's that?
Hollybobs,
Okay,
schmollybobs.
no. Oh no, we're giving Friday energy again.
It's not good.
No, I wouldn't say it was a hollybobs. I'd say it was more.
A worky bobs.
It was a worky bobs, yeah. Like it was good vibes, but I was working.
Yeah.
So contextually for the listeners, my friend Rachel Harris, who is at Accountant She on Instagram, along with lots of other female entrepreneurs or women who own digital businesses, went away for a week, and we spent the week all together doing basically different workshops, leaning in to different people's areas of expertise. So Alice Benham is a business strategist, and she does lots of things. Like she does lots of sessions on goal setting, visions, and like working that back down into really actionable goals. So she did a session with us. We did also lots of kind of hot seat scenarios where each person would come with a problem or something they're facing, and they would then have 15 minutes on a timer for everyone there to like talk it out with them and figure out what a good next step would be for them.
That's so cool.
That is so cool.
It was amazing because all of these women, like, I admire so much, and they have such different skill sets, but also really complementing skill sets.
Yeah.
So there was so much good advice, but yeah, lots of amazing women. I can't even like begin to name them all. They're all incredible in their own different way.
And I feel like we haven't even asked. What did you do like a session or a workshop or anything?
Do you know what? Actually, no. Like,
It's like, guys, I was working, I swear.
You were busy making nice dinners.
I did make a nice dinner.
Yeah, it
Chef.
looked good.
It was kind of supposed to be like we each had sessions, but what it ended up being was none of us could ever stop talking because like we were so invested and interested in what everyone was saying. So on the first night, for example, everyone introduced themselves, but we only got round to 3 people because all of us wanted to ask that person so many questions. And that really was the kind of...
That's cute.
Me and Rachel stayed up, bearing in mind, I'm normally in bed by 9:30. Me and Rachel stayed up until like 1:30 a.m. one night just talking.
You are wild.
I know, crazy.
That's actually
That's
really
so
cute
nice.
though, because I feel like as a founder, it must be so nice for you to be able to like have those experiences with like-minded people and just like be able to almost like brain dump and like word vomit everything out.
Because we can only understand and like be there for you to a certain
we don't know
point.
what it's like.
We don't know what it's like to have no one else to go to after you. Like
Sounds
it must
terrifying.
be so
So yeah, it was a really special week, and I think everyone came away from it feeling really, I don't know, empowered, but also just like women are amazing is kind of the takeaway. And there were certain situations where people were being so vulnerable and like really opening up and talking about things that were really difficult for them, and women just create such a supportive, amazing space for people to do that. And everyone came away feeling amazing. I feel like that is so cheesy, but that is truly...
There's nothing
so
wrong with a bit of
cute.
cheese.
Yeah. Apart from you don't really like cheese.
I like it melted.
But also you going on that trip has made me even more excited for our Christmas trip.
Yeah.
Which producer Sophia is now coming on.
It's going to be so good. I feel like we haven't actually spoken about the trip on the podcast yet, but basically Verity has very kindly booked for us all as a team with producer Sophia to go on a little TBH Christmas getaway. They're going to take the mick out of how I say it. Carlisle.
Wrong.
Carlisle.
It's
Whatever.
Carlisle.
Carlisle.
You're literally Scottish. I don't
It's
understand
in
how
England.
I know it's in England, but it's very close to the Scottish border. How are you saying it wrong?
Listeners, please tell us how you say that.
It's Car-Lisle, as in Lyle crocodile.
Carlisle.
Carlisle.
I just said it. Yeah, no, I just said
Carlisle.
it.
It's just
Carlisle.
one syllable. Carlisle. Anyway, we're going there. And we're going to like a farmhouse, and it looks like it has like a hot tub, and It's going to be so cute. We're going to go to a pub. We're going to go for walks. We're just going to spend some proper quality time together as a team, which I think is going to be so nice and so needed because we see each other all the time, but obviously mostly in work mode. So it's nice
it'll be nice to be in vacation mode.
Vacation mode.
I think we're going to do gingerbread making and Christmas candle painting.
Oh my
Stop.
gosh.
Yeah.
I love arts and crafts, like shit like that.
That is going to be
Gets me going.
so wholesome.
Or some sort of festive activity along those lines.
Absolutely,
Love it.
yes.
TB.
Please, can we play board games? I think that would be really cute.
Yeah.
I've got, have you guys played Colour Brain?
No.
Oh, okay, I'll bring that.
Talking of Christmas getaways, do we feel, the nights are getting darker? I'm feeling already in kind of a Christmassy mood.
Absolutely.
I'm ready for Christmas. Are we
Oh, no.
admitting what's happened this week?
Oh.
I think we
Have we
should.
admitted
I think people
what's
will think it's
happened?
too far.
I think it's perfectly acceptable. So I said to Lucy, I was like, Lucy, I'm going to put some music on now. And then she said, surprise me. And I decided to play the Christmas hits on Spotify. And it started with Mariah Carey.
And it
Obviously.
was amazing.
I think as long as you're in November, it's fine.
It's fine. After Halloween, anything goes, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's when Christmas starts.
Agree.
So we will be playing Christmas music from now on in the office when we are in the office on our own, so that other people in our office don't think we're crazy.
Yeah. And also bearing in mind that we stop for Christmas and won't be in the office for much of December. So actually we need to take November as
True.
Christmas time.
We're getting it out of our system now. And also, if anyone says that it's too soon for Mariah, they're wrong because Christmas ads are out.
Yes.
So I saw Sainsbury's as one, and they've done like, I don't know whether it's a collaboration with the Roald Dahl books, but the BFG is in it, and it's really cute.
That is cute.
And he like basically goes around like you know how he puts sprinkles dust on stuff. I can't actually remember the story.
Snozzcumbers.
Yeah, and he says that. He says he's like snozzcumbers in the advert, and it's really cute. And he basically sets up the table and like makes Christmas really magical for everyone. So I'd
Guys,
recommend that.
I would love it one year if one of our Sonias was in the M&S Christmas advert. I think that would make my life.
Iconic.
Right?
Any Christmas advert.
But specifically M&S.
No, John Lewis is the one.
Oh,
Okay, yeah. And none of our Sonias have worked with John Lewis though, but I think
M&S is
M&S.
possible.
They've obviously worked with Dawn French 2 years in a row, so like we could just slide in one of our Sonias alongside Dawn.
yeah.
To help.
I feel like we're getting the buzz, the Q4 buzz is happening. Like
Yeah.
there are lots of conversations going on about Christmas and about Cyber Week. So I'm feeling that picking up.
Yeah, I've definitely seen like more emails coming in. I feel like the inbox is getting busier and busier and busier. You take one breath and go to the toilet and you come back and there's been 75,000 emails. But that is the exciting time of year. I think we do thrive off the busyness, but we sometimes just need to take a breath.
Absolutely. And also like it's fun as well because it's like the more fun, I guess, side of things with events and like little Christmassy parties and stuff. And actually, speaking of which, the lovely team at Garnier have done something which I think is like one of the loveliest things that's happened like since I've started working in the influencer space. So they actually sent round an email to all the agents that they work with, basically offering Garnier Christmas gifting for managers, which I think is incredible. Like,
and the email was so sweet.
So sweet. Like basically be just like acknowledging the relationship that we've built and saying thank you to everyone that they've been partnering with. And just like, what a team. I love that.
They are the best.
I love it. They just really go above and beyond. And I think they just get it.
Yeah.
Like, they get the work that goes into it. They get that relationship and it's so meaningful. I replied to Lauren being like, you are such a babe. Like, this is so kind. And she replied being like, we wouldn't be able to make it happen without you guys.
Aww.
So
and I was
cute.
just like, you're so thoughtful. Like, how kind.
I know.
Yeah.
I feel like it really just shows that they're so ahead of the curve in that way, and that they're really just thinking about the fact that obviously the creator brand relationship is so important, but it wouldn't be possible without us, the middlemen, you know? And I think it's good for us to acknowledge that like we're doing a great job, and it's nice for brands to be able to be like, thank you, because we love working with you, because we love working with the brands.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's so telling. Like we hear from so many people, like brand side sometimes saying, well, we love the creator, but like, you know, the manager was really difficult to work with, so we're not going to work with that creator again. And it's like that relationship between the brand and the manager is just as important, because that is what makes the deal go smoothly or go not smoothly at all.
Yeah. That actually gets me thinking. Last year we did, for our Christmas presents for our brands and agencies that we work with really closely, we donated what we would have spent on a Christmas present to a charity. So last year, I just chose the charity, didn't I? I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
But I think this year maybe we each pick a charity. And we could even put it to like talent vote.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
It'll be
that'd
so
be
good
so
to get their
nice.
input.
On who they would rather us donate it to. And then the winning charity will donate the equivalent of what we would have spent on Christmas presents.
Yeah, I think that would be so nice.
Okay, guys, we are bringing back...
Rumor has it.
I can't
You
take
went
it
really
seriously.
quiet, Sarah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Did you get scared?
I got a bit scared. Like, I like to just do it naturally. I can't do it on
No,
demand.
I get that. Yeah, we're bringing it back. We had a little bit of a break from it because obviously we don't want to be coming up with fake rumors. So we had to give you the real juice. However, obviously rumors are rumors. So this is all allegedly.
Allegedly. Please don't come for us if this is incorrect.
But we have heard through the grapevine of the grapevine from a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend that sometimes when creators are talking to management about exclusive management, there is a discussion around the creator paying a retainer fee on top of the percentage commission. So 1 to 2K a month plus 20% on deals to be managed by a management company. I do firstly want to preface that we obviously on our non-exclusive management creators list $15.99 a month plus VAT to use the educational platform, but they're non-exclusive to us. So then if a deal comes in, they don't send it to us. So that's the difference. And it's obviously a retainer fee plus you're exclusive and you're paying 20% on all deals.
That's really interesting. That's almost like working as like a PR agent plus management in one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's how people work with publicists, right? They have them on a retainer.
Yeah.
I wonder whether that would like include that in the cost.
Yeah.
Like, is that maybe what that is? I don't know. I'm just trying to think, like,
Could be.
because that's obviously, for me personally, that's the first time I've ever heard of it in the industry.
Yeah. I wonder if it could be a case of, obviously sometimes when you sign a creator in the growth phase, for example, which we are really passionate about doing, they might not actually be commercial instantly. It can take a bit of time and work for that to actually become a commercial relationship. So I wonder if companies are doing these sort of retainer fees to allow them to take creators on at an earlier stage in their career to kind of help them grow, but for it to still make commercial sense for the management. So I wonder if it's a way of kind of giving access to good management to creators in that growth phase.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's an interesting one, isn't it, though? Because that really kind of creates a very small niche of people that are going to be able to access that.
Yeah.
As in, if that was to become a norm across the whole industry, that really cuts off potentially a big chunk of people that want to make a career out of being a creator. If people were to be paying a high monthly retainer, I just feel like it creates quite an exclusive segment in the industry that I don't know, it just doesn't feel very inclusive.
That totally makes sense. My instant thought was, oh, it will help it to make a more commercial partnership for the management company
which
if
I
the
get,
creator isn't
which I
generating
get.
income. But actually, if the creator's not generating enough income for it to be a commercial partnership, do they have $2,000 a month to be paying to have management? Yeah, it's kind of a bit of a catch-22, I feel.
I know we talked about it a little bit in the Gales episode, but we're so specific about who we take on because often you're taking them on because you're wanting to help elevate and grow them. And you don't want to have that conversation that, you know, obviously some management have decided to have. But it's a really tough one because obviously like there's no judgment on the management company from my perspective here, because I think like ultimately the management agency is running a business and it has to make sense and they have to be able to pay their bills and pay their team and all the rest of it. So that's the decision they have to make.
Yeah.
I'd find it difficult having that conversation up front with someone because I'd be thinking, if I want to take you on my roster, it's because I'm excited about what's potentially could happen for you and I want to help you do it.
I'd also be interested to like know from the management side like whether they found it's put creators off, because obviously as a creator, if you, as we said in the previous episode, like you should speak to loads of different management before you sign with anyone. If you're finding that what is industry standard typically is that everyone's kind of taking about 20%, and then you have a company who maybe you really, really like, but they're taking 20% plus a monthly retainer, would that put you off? I think for a lot of creators it might, because
Yeah.
that is a huge amount of money. And I wonder if there's a sliding scale. I don't know. Is it a case of if you earn below XYZ, you pay this amount a month? If you earn in this bracket, you pay this amount a month? Because if it's just one fee for everyone, that fee is very different. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
I know what you mean. And to me, I'd be shitting myself.
Oh yeah.
Like, as in,
if you
as
knew
the
someone
agent,
was paying
someone was
that amount a
paying,
month.
Like, I'd be like, oh my God, like
a lot of pressure.
it's a lot of pressure on the management,
Yeah.
right? To be able to feel like, oh my gosh, I know this person is paying and we've only been working with them for X amount of time. And it would feel like a lot on our shoulders to be like, okay, I really, obviously we always want what's best for our creators as managers, of course. But I feel like that would make my heart be like, oh my gosh, I really like actually really need to get them at least X amount, whatever they're paying, because, and it would feel maybe a bit.
Yeah, it makes me wonder whether, because obviously we have no idea. This is a rumor, so we actually have no idea. We have no
This could
idea
be
what.
completely
Not
false.
real.
Yeah, this could not be real, but we also have no idea what this agreement would look like. So, for example, maybe it is you pay us 1,000 unless we generate X amount. So, like, if they maybe generate them
More.
a certain amount, but then it's only if nothing happens that month, potentially. Again, I'm
That
making this
makes
up because we're
sense.
basing it on nothing, but that I
Yeah.
guess that could feel more fair.
And also, like, perhaps it's, like I mentioned, like, it might be towards more of those, like, it might be for talent who maybe are working on larger projects, such as publishing, doing more press stuff. I don't know if then the agency is then outsourcing that themselves. Maybe that's what they're paying for.
Okay.
So, like, they might be spending money for the creator to do a podcast, and maybe that's what the creator is paying for. And it might differ from each creator depending on what they're doing outside of the management
That
sphere.
could so
I don't
be
know.
this rumor getting misconstrued on the grapevine, because
Yeah.
that actually makes so much sense. Maybe it's a case of we take 20% of your earnings as normal as your management, but each month we plan on investing X, $3,000, let's say, on you in terms of publishing, PR, whatever, and then so you pay that to us monthly as a fixed fee.
Yeah, it might not be mandatory, for example. Like, each creator on that roster might be like, oh, I actually don't want you to do that. But some creators might be like, I really want you to work with a publicist for me. And that, to me, that when you explained it, that's where my mind first went.
Yeah, and that would make a lot of sense. And I
Yeah.
know, like, we've even discussed it before about whether we get an internal publicist, or not an internal publicist, but we hire a publicist for TBH creators, and then publicists can do it where they will give you like timesheets. So say they've spent X amount of time on Sonia, they then say, I spent an X amount of time on Sonia, and I've got Sonia a piece in Glamour, I've got Sonia a piece in whatever else magazine. I would say magazine, but I mean like digital magazine. Yeah. And then, or print or wherever else. And then that is taken off at their monthly payment. So like, I guess there are ways that there are obviously lots of different ways that you can work.
Yeah.
So I agree. I think maybe that could be sort of a solution that makes sense, or something that makes sense.
Seran, you're so clever. You're such an investigator. That was
Sherlock
not-
Holmes, I've got my trench, not on, but
You got it with
It's
you.
got it with you. So that's probably why I've investigated that.
Well done.
Give me a magnifying glass ASAP.
Okay, so shock, we still have lots of questions from our listeners about what the hell it is that we actually do. So rather than this time me asking you guys the questions and us all yapping on,
And we can answer like one question an episode.
Yeah.
we've decided that we're going to do one question and it has to be answered in, actually no, we'll do multiple questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it has to be answered in one sentence. The first question, and this is looking at it from a slightly different angle, because a lot of the time we have creators asking us questions about management and all those sorts of things. But this time it's from someone who wants to get into influencer management.
Ooh,
Fun.
well, that feels pressure. Okay.
Feels pressure.
As in,
much
like, I
English.
feel like the answer needs to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we want
You have to help them out.
Help this person.
But they're getting 3 lots of advice. So
Okay.
how do you get into a career like this? One sentence. Lucy, do you want to start?
Oh my gosh. Okay. I thought I was
I'm
going to
glad.
have preparation. Okay. I would say if you want to get into a career in influence management, the best thing you can do is follow your favorite managers and apply for loads of jobs. Because if you apply for lots of jobs, then you have more chance of getting one.
Yeah.
That was
so
one sentence.
You're basically saying like mass applying.
Yeah, the more jobs you apply for, the more chance you have.
Yeah, I think that's good advice.
I think that's great advice. And following on from that is I would say when you're applying, do your research. Like really understand who the company that you're applying to is, like what makes them tick, what are their cultural values, like does it excite you, and really tailor your application. Like we can tell.
This is the longest sentence
Oh
ever.
God, yeah, fuck's sake. I forgot it was a sentence.
I thought
Bye.
you were just going to say,
Bye.
do your research. And that was going to be the
Guys,
end.
I'm so sorry. Like I actually have no brain capacity. Like I
My
just
brain has spoken.
Okay, there we go. That's the end. You're not going to get the end
research.
of that sentence. Do your research. End of story. Bye.
We have actually had applicants for our jobs where people haven't even known anything about anyone on our roster, any names, anything. And that does feel like a sort of basic thing that you would make sure you knew, or at least knew your like favorite person
100%.
Yeah.
on the roster.
But I do think it might feel very overwhelming. Like as in, obviously, especially if you're getting into a new industry, it's like, oh my gosh, I need to apply to loads of different places. Like it's time consuming. And I think that's also a big thing. So people just create a CV and then just send it off to a bunch of places and not actually digest where they're sending it to. So when they get an interview, they might be ill prepared. But I do think that it's a case of researching and understanding which companies you
Lots
like.
of applications and then do the research.
Exactly. What's your piece of advice?
Fake it till you make it. And ask for help when you need it, when you're in the role.
I love that.
That's nice. I like that. I agree. Fake it till you make it is half the battle in anything, really.
It's hard out there, guys.
But that doesn't mean pretending to know things when you don't.
No.
No.
That means like pretend you're confident.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be confident in not knowing things.
Be
Yes.
confident in not knowing things.
That's
That
so
is
true.
such a good piece of advice.
No such thing as a stupid
Guys.
question, truly. It's not.
I remember like one of the first employees I had on my candle business, she was like, after she'd worked with me for a little while, she was like, the thing that Verity's taught me is literally no question is stupid, because she asked the stupidest question. And I was like, well, I'm pleased about that, but also semi-offended.
Such a backhanded compliment. I love it.
Okay, this is a good one. Do you need to go to uni to work as a talent assistant?
Do you want to go first, Seran? I went first last time. One sentence.
My one sentence, can it just be one word?
Do it.
No.
Okay.
I really don't.
And then my sentence could be more context.
Yeah,
around
your context, because I'm sure we
no.
have the same thoughts.
In practice, you definitely don't need to go to uni to do this job. But if you do want to go to uni, you should go, but don't stress about it being something that feels relevant. You don't have to do marketing.
My answer would also be no, and that's something I'm very like passionate about saying. However, you do need to be, not this has anything to do with uni, but I think that's the point. The important thing is being proactive and organized.
Yes.
So you can be proactive and organized and not go to uni.
100%.
And I think also like there's something in being proactive with like trying to get internships or even like part-time jobs, even if it's not even relevant in the industry, like working at a shop or getting a temp job in an office, like all those skills really do help. Like you have to be a people person to be in this industry. So working at Oliver Bonus behind the checkout is going to be a great thing.
Okay, this could be a juicy one. What is one thing you wish you'd known about the influencer industry before you started working in it?
It's not as glamorous as it looks online.
Lucy's in it for the fame.
No, but it's not. Like the day-to-day, it's not glamorous. And like even actually the day-to-day life of an influencer is not as glamorous as you think it might be, because you see the 2% online. So yeah, that's my thing. Not that it would have put me off.
I think that's true.
It's not.
I feel like maybe this feels really obvious, but it's a lot of emails.
Yes.
Like it is. If you don't like emails, gonna say this now, don't do it, because it is an email heavy. I'd say 90% of our time
Emails.
is emails.
Yeah.
Back and forth, conversations, phone calls. You know what it is I would say a good piece of advice would be to like be brave on the phones.
Yes.
Because I think that a lot of people in our generation are scared of phone calls. And
Me?
I'm scared. I still
anymore.
get scared calling the doctor though now, even though I have this job. I just find it quite scary.
That's crazy.
I know.
You have so many more like difficult conversations.
I know.
Then please may I have a doctor's appointment?
But I'm just a girl. But I do think that that's actually something that you could do really early on before you get a job, and actually can be like, you know what, I'm really confident with calling people.
I was terrified. Like, so scared.
It is horrible though. I do feel like our generation, we are the generation of texters.
100%.
So for us, it's like a voice note, a text, like, don't call me.
Yeah.
If my friend tries to call me, I'm like,
I think
what are you
someone's
doing?
dead.
Yeah. My
do.
friends who call me just to like, I'm like, hey, and they're like, hey, you're right, what were you up to? And I'm like, oh, what the hell? Like, obviously I'm expecting that they need at least something from me.
100%.
But no, they just calling me for a chat.
That's weird.
But I kind of love that.
No, it's
love that
nice.
energy. I want to be that person.
But you know what that is? That's us having such transactional phone calls in our jobs, making
Yeah.
us think
Yeah.
that everything is like
Must
trying to
have a
figure out a
reason.
problem, trying to negotiate a deal.
What do you wish you knew? Because you've been in this industry for a long
Yeah.
time, Verity. Long old time.
She's got a walking stick.
She's so old.
I feel like I almost feel like I've been too ingrained in this industry to be able to think out as though I wasn't in the industry.
do you, this is a weird question, but do you think you knew much about the industry before you started working at Gleam?
No more than you guys would have known when you joined. I knew it as a consumer, but I had no idea what was going on behind the scenes.
But I feel like back then, especially, there was nothing behind
Yeah.
the scenes. Whereas now,
I
there are
knew a
so
bit.
many more management agencies around. Like, you can follow loads online. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, this is available for people to listen to and consume. So I feel like there's a lot more discourse around it, and
Yeah.
people, wow, big words, discourse. There's a lot more discourse surrounding it.
Yeah, so there's a lot more online about what managers do, etc. So I didn't really have any idea. I just knew I was like, this is cool and I want to do it. I mean, it's an intense job. In some companies, it's obviously flexible, which is good, but it's intense in terms of you have very personal relationships with everyone, and like it's intense because you really want the best for them, want them to be happy, and like I'd say it's much more of an emotional job than I thought it would be.
That's such a good one. There's a lot of emotional labor involved. I would say.
I think there is. But I also think that is down to us wanting to do such a good job.
Yeah.
Like, if we were actually just quite transactional about what we did and like only cared about, right, have we hit this benchmark this month? Have we made this much revenue in this quarter? But it's not. For us, it's so much more than that. There's a real personal relationship with all of our Sonias, and that is why it's emotionally laborious. Is that
Big
the
words
word?
flying around, laborious.
Yeah, I think that is because we care.
Yeah, I think probably because you feel responsible. You want to make sure that you're looking after like them in the best possible way.
100%.
And I think everyone at TBH takes that very seriously.
Yeah.
And I think that is why it ends up being like emotional for us as well, even though like I feel like, imagine if you worked at, I don't know, HP, like it wouldn't be emotional.
Really care.
I love computers.
No, but like if the
computers are
delivery of the delivery of the part for the printer was delayed.
Yeah.
I might be stressed, but I don't think I'd be emotional.
Yeah.
But like if one of my creators is really excited about a campaign and for one reason or another something goes wrong and it doesn't happen or it gets pulled or whatever, that like hurts me emotionally as a person.
Yeah.
I'm not just thinking, oh damn it, we've missed out on 10 grand. I don't think about that at all. I think, oh my gosh, that was something they were so excited about and now it's not happening, and I want to help them and comfort them and make it better.
And I also think that's such a testament to like how you've trained us.
Yeah.
There must be people out there that do kind of have those more transactional relationships with their talent. And I think it's like a more of a holistic approach that we have, that it's like, okay, there's the commercial element of things, there's like the strategic element, but there's also the person and actually their mental well-being is so much of that.
If Sonia's going through something, we're like, stop everything.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Or stop all the campaigns.
Stop the campaigns, turn down the campaigns, decline sort of thing. But also like, I guess the emotion works in a really good way as well, because even when we sign a campaign, I know in certain situations we've signed campaigns where we're like, that is going to make a real like a massive difference to Sonia's family, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's emotional as well.
Makes
in a
you feel
really
so
way.
good.
So good. And also as well, like there are specific campaigns that we've worked on that I feel like also make a difference in terms of the actual campaign message.
Yeah. Like I think of the Dove campaign.
I was thinking of the Dove campaign.
The time. Lots of different creators did different
The
things, but they put
stickers.
stickers on their face, or they put face paint on. JC did the most insane face paint I've ever seen. The statistic was something crazy about under 10s, how many of them already edit photos of themselves and kind of embracing how you look. And oh my God, it's actually just giving me goosebumps talking about that campaign. Like there's so many campaigns that are just so powerful, and to get to work on them is emotional in itself.
For sure.
Wow, okay, that got a bit emotional. That is a wrap on this episode. Guys, what have we learned?
That off the back of your workcation, I mean, we knew it already, but it really like showed how much women can create incredible environments in businesses, and how nice it is to all support each other and work together, even if you're working on different businesses.
Slay. We also learned to, if you're looking for a job in the industry, do your research. And also, what was that really good thing that you said?
I think it's be confident in not knowing.
Oh yeah, be confident in not knowing things.
I think that is the most important thing.
I think we should get that embroidered on a t-shirt.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sell it.
And this is a very emotional job, and that's okay. And yeah, emotional regulation is very important in this industry, and we are apparently still working on that.
Yeah. Always growing.
That's a wrap on this episode of Lifting the Lid. You can follow and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
And you can find us on socials, just search TBH Talent and Lifting the Lid Pod.
You can now watch this podcast and our vlog. Woo! Very exciting. On YouTube. Just search TBH Talent.
Bye.
Bye.